Hi, everyone. Welcome to the February 14th Happy Valentine's Day edition of the Gnoland contributor call. So, without further ado, you guys have the link to the agenda. We've got some updates from the team. Maybe I kick it off with, I have everyone listed in. We'll be having Territory, Birdie, OnBlock, Varmeta, and then we have Decentra Hub with Matteo. And Dragos is not here, but he left us a roadmap for Flipando. So maybe we just follow this Territory. If you guys want to share some updates and let us know what you guys have been working on for the past 2 weeks. And if you have any needs.
Yeah, sure. Basically, we continued the work on the ecosystem and especially on the project manager. And to be honest, we are late on many things regarding the UI because we faced some problems like the UI was not fitting exactly with Linux and ecosystem logic. So we had to rebuild many things. And the main thing we progressed was about the conflict solver parts. Norman, I think Norman is here. Maybe we could have a quick demo
Okay.
with by both creating a project quickly and at the end when there is a conflict to see how it can be solved. Norman, are you here?
Yep.
Hey, Norman.
Hello.
Bonjour, bonjour.
Let me find my Chrome page. Oh, I can share entire screen, it's okay. Up. So you already saw that, I think. So I just create a new project. Let's say awesome project, web project. I can put a description. So I create this project as a founder. So I will put money and ask for contractors to come. So the new addition there is that I can specify an address as an authority that will resolve conflict. So it can be a user address or a DAO or something else. But this address, we have the permissions to call contract resolving function on the realm, on the program manager realm. I choose an image and some tags, for example, UI, UX, design, whatever, web. I can put some links. These are pre-filled for now, but you are able to describe your team there. I can add milestone. So this UI is quite whip, but let's say I have the landing page. So let's say it's a website, so I have a landing page. Of course, this would be more detailed, but it's a high priority. The budget would be like 10,000 knots, and the duration is in seconds, I think, so it's a bit weird, but we'll change that later. I can link a GitHub issue, for example, there. Create my milestone. I want to create another one, so blog page. Say it's 20k knot for this one. So I can see my milestones. I can review my project before creation. So the total budget will be 30k knots, for example, for this project. And I publish the project. The medias are uploaded on the IPFS. CIDs are injected, and then I approve the transaction. And now I can see this project here. I have 0 candidates for now, but right now I'll switch to this address was the funder. There is the second address I gave, which will be the authority, and a third address now, which will be the contractor. You can see those there by the way. The UI is still WIP, of course. So now I submit my candidacy to this contract. I say I'm a web dev. I want to make this. I think the pay is good. Now I come back to the funder account. I can review my candidates. So that this one, but I can see his profile. Right now the profile system is not linked, but if it was linked, you could see like past like lot of information actually on the person. Something for
just sorry, Norman. Just a quick note to explain to people maybe on this user profile. You will be later able to see all previous contributions, all of course gigs, completed missions, etc. So from Unchained data, but also maybe a kind of LinkedIn approach with more manual and static data too. So it will be easier to evaluate candidates with all the information they want to provide.
Yep. So as a funder, I accept this contractor because I think he will do the job. He has a good track record because I saw his profile. And now I'll come back as the contractor. I start working on the milestone. I put it in progress. I actually build the page, like watch me code. Then I put it in review. I come back to the funder, which can now review. So there in my reviews, I can see the task. So right now this way is not good, but let's say I review the task, I see a preview of the work. I think the page is good, so I approve this one. So right now this will pay the amount of this milestone to the contractor. And then let's say the contractor stops working, it doesn't even put the blog page in progress or anything, it disappears. So I request a conflict resolution. The contractor, this, I don't know how to write this one. Let's hope it's good. It doesn't seem to. I ask for a resolution of the conflict. So now he's waiting for the actual authority to answer. So the authority comes. You see, there is no response for a few seconds. At least we're in the AI era. People should respond in seconds. So you are right. And I can choose as the conflict solver to refund the remaining amount that has not been paid because it's in escrow. We don't want like the funder to be able to just pull the funds if the contractor did the work. So if the contractor did the work, you could choose to pay the contractor. If the contractor came back and they wanted to resume the contract, you could also resume the contract. But let's say we want to refund. And there, the contract has been aborted. The funder has been reimbursed with the remaining budget that has not been paid because this one got paid. And now the funder, if I take the funder account, I think it was the first one. Yep. It only paid the 20,000, I think. No, it only paid the 10,000 for the landing page, but he got refunded the 20,000 for the blog page. And voila.
Thanks. I was curious. I don't know if other people have questions, but is this something that the team thinks that would be worthwhile trying out for Game of Realms? Because I know we talked about it originally for like on-chain grant management, but would it make sense for that?
It could make sense for that. It could make sense also for a launchpad. I think it will be more for a launchpad post-launch. In practice, it can be used and tested before.
I think from my opinion that it's only like a starting point basically because I think what could be interesting, that's also the second point we started to work this month, was to imagine how to iterate with this feature and make it more modular and more compatible with other contexts. And of course, Game of Thrones could be one, but also just to provide on the user profile every gigs possible with this guy. For example, if I could list everything I have as developer, okay, I can make my daily rate for Golang works is this amount, etc., and provide a kind of visualization of the works DAO to allow anybody to hire anybody. So of course, as a DAO, we could provide some available jobs, missions, etc., but also as contributors to share information to the ecosystem. Okay, I'm a good developer on this part, and I provide a way to hire me easily and with everything on chain to prove my skills. So I think at the moment we face many edge contexts, etc., that were really hard to anticipate before doing this version. To be honest, we thought at the beginning, oh, it's gonna be easy to make just like a grant program manager, but in fact it was more complex, and now we realize that we have several little challenge to iterate, so we are trying to focus on this.
Did you guys also want to give a brief overview of the upcoming grant, or?
Yeah, quickly, I can explain the vision behind the. I try to find share my screen with just a second. Okay, so basically the vision we tried to explore was to both. There is three main points. The first is we think that everything we made previously is not well documented and not modular enough to be really available for other devs, and I think we are it's one of our most important weakness at the moment. So we think that it must be our priority to document it and make it more understood by everyone, to allow contribution, but also to challenge ourselves, etc., as more real tests. So I think that will be important for us to allow more boundaries on this. The second thing is to explore the connections between every modules and every tools we build before, to make it fit also with the works DAO. As I said before, for contributors profile, I think it's really important to make it transparent for users and easy to see real contributions, see the background of each profiles, etc., and to allow a kind of like maybe I have a screenshot. Yes, allow a kind of LinkedIn experience, as for example in the Manfred example on GitHub of contributor profile, he mixed some static and centralized data from another provider, or like for LinkedIn, basically on description, etc. So the idea was to mix both on-chain data on also some oracles on, I don't know, it could be GitHub, etc., but to make it simple for even non-tech people to evaluate a candidate, evaluate a profile, and maybe to see activities, even if it's not pure code and not GitHub. For example, if it's a creator that use every day the Gno feed, or create content, or is a thinker, etc., we should be able to see everything and have a single way to see everything. So in our plan, we think that in the upcoming months, we'll focus to create an experience that allow to visualize the works the WorksDAO ecosystem interactions, gigs, etc. Also to encourage and support DAOs or companies to hire some Gno devs and to highlight builders, basically. And so that's the second point after the Gno dev experience and documentation. And the third one is maybe a hard challenge, but could be really interesting to allow more peer-to-peer hiring, even if it's not a DAO or company, just to help Gnofers to hire other builders, etc. So to have a kind of Upwork similar experience and make it simple both for companies but also individuals to cooperate and have gigs, etc. Like I presented before. And yeah, the last point is also about the profile. I think it can be linked to Game of Thrones. If we imagine an experience where a lot of challenges are by default available for every Gnofers, we could have kind of gamification and allow, for example, we could have a simple card, create a Hello World realm, etc. And just display it to make like kind of I don't know the real word, but quest incentive, even if it's not for money but for fame also, or to have a specific rank, etc. So yeah, basically it's our current plan, and we should it's still weird, but we try to prepare it for as soon as possible.
Oh, that's so cool. I don't know if there's any questions about the territory update. Okay, shall we move on to Birdie then? I don't know, Jeff, if you need to screen share, but I was just going to go back to the agenda.
Yeah, just do that.
Okay. Here we are.
Okay, working on social. Yuri is among other UI options, adding the onboarding process. We were about to make a video, but had a technical problem. But you'll get a video demo really soon. We talked about this a little bit in a separate call with Manfred, and Yuri can jump in. Right now, a user opens up the app and it's a new user, so we generate a key and all that stuff. And to use a realm, the new user needs some coins. Right now, we're running our own test node, and we are using a faucet and just dumping money into the new user from the test one. And Yuri can ask his own extra questions, but I'm curious what was the current practice in GNOchess for getting a new user to be able to do things. Does everybody just magically behind the scenes pull from some existing pool of account, and what do you think soon the best practice will be for onboarding a new user? Maybe for anybody who has an opinion on that. Do they need to go to an exchange and dump some Ether coins into Gno, or?
Can you repeat the question? Sorry.
A new user hears about some Gnoland app. It's really cool, and they download the app and they want to get going, but they don't have any coins in Gnoland.
So basically, one of the options is to use a faucet. We will have some faucets. Maybe they will change over time. For instance, we can expect to have a faucet for everyone at the beginning, then maybe a faucet only for developers or startups or a specific niche. At some point, we will have potentially company-driven faucets. Maybe you will run a faucet, I don't know. There will also be some actors, maybe I don't know, some exchange or other blockchains or whatever can propose such service. Swapping is an option. For instance, GnoSwap by Unblock is definitely about swapping things, and you can maybe come with your Ethereum tokens or Cosmos token or whatever, and swap them in exchange of GNOT. And then outside of using ways to receive your initial tokens to at least be able to make to pay some gas for your first transaction, what we are looking is about how can we abstract not the account but the request, so something similar to account abstraction on Ethereum in some degrees, where it will be nice to basically allow a contract to sponsor some specific request, or maybe to have to delegate the gas payment from a company. So maybe your application as a pool of money, and as soon as the transaction belongs to your filter, for instance, to match your contract with some specific, with maybe just the function register or something, then you can maybe pay for delegate the payment of the gas. So we are studying such things, but in practice we also do what other blockchains are doing for a lot of time. Before having exchanges and other solutions that will be managed by external entities, we will try to provide faucets, and we will make it easy for other companies and organizations to have their faucets. So expect to have faucets from users, and maybe expect as an app developer to also invest some money to basically onboard people. So instead of paying ads, you will pay the first transactions, maybe.
Yeah, that makes sense. That's all we really need, is at least enough coins to register with the blockchain.
Yeah.
That's all we really need. So we are using a faucet right now. Yeah.
It's an open topic, but basically it will be a mix of what we are doing for years in this ecosystem, plus we are trying to find ways to basically allow making your first transaction without gas, just because someone else is paying.
Mm-hmm.
And the question becomes about security and filters to prevent abuses.
Right.
But this is actually something we can try to work on.
What is the current practice in GNOchess, and what are your plans for random new users to be able to use the realm? And for Morgan, I suppose, now you're back.
So for GNOchess, the way that we implemented it was by having, because we wanted, like we took the fact that we needed a faucet and combined it together to the fact that we actually wanted to restrict the users who participated in GNOchess to be the ones physically present at the conference.
Mm-hmm.
So there was a sort of weird system that Milos worked on, which worked, which got people to sign up on a form that would receive an email with a token, and with this token they could then put it in GNOchess and start playing, and it worked, though it probably works for these contexts where you want to restrict who is who can participate with some criteria. Personally, I would probably I haven't gotten to that part in planning for
okay.
the
I
second
didn't
month.
know what you view as the long-term visibility of this app.
I was for the long-term part, I'm thinking of adapting the faucet so that it gives a lower amount of GNOT per call to the faucet. Like I just what could be the average for around 10 transactions, and then to put like normal, like the sort of rate limiting, so that people cannot request too much money at a time. That's pretty much it. Yeah.
Okay. So it's still a faucet-based thing. Okay, that's good, because that's what we're using right now. Christoph has his hand up.
Yeah, I just wanted to chime in briefly. So in a lot of projects like Gno, initially something like a faucet will be very typical and viable for a bit, but over the long term, it depends on economic factors, and there probably won't be one approach for all apps. If I have a game where I'm not really expecting to make any money off the users per se, I might not put a lot of, I might be willing to pay a lot per user to kind of get started. Versus if I have some kind of like token swapping dApp or something like that, where I expect to make, a minimum off of $30 per user right off the bat or something like that, well, then I can put some more money up front to kind of get them going. So faucets, tend to work for a while, and then as demand for blockchain space goes up, fees will go up, and then the faucets will no longer be viable. There aren't any Bitcoin faucets anymore, aside from like very obscure ones where you have to like watch a million ads or things like this. So yeah, so we'll probably have to adapt over time, but faucets are a great start.
Okay. Well, I don't want to take up too much time. I feel good because that's the approach we're using right now. Really quick for the rest of our bullet items. We are continuing to play with stress testing. When I try to use the main Gnoland local repo, it just doesn't work because its limit on the max gas prevents us from doing enough transactions to actually start filling up the memory. So looking forward to GNODEF real soon now will allow us to store things on disk, and then we'll get a new measure of memory performance. The next thing is just a note. We are applying for a new grant to work on preparations for a Gnoki app, a little app that runs on your mobile phone and manages your keys. And people can watch this later. But
actually, Jeff, I was thinking maybe it's a 5-minute video. If Michel, you think it's appropriate, we would love some feedback on this, especially since we are not proposing to work alone. We're proposing to work alongside Gno on this one, at least partially. So I don't know. What do you think? Could you watch it now? It's 5 minutes.
Okay. Does that sound good for? We still have like a few others to go through. I'm just trying. Or
if not, you can just leave it at the end, and we can recover the feedback at the end.
Yeah, let's see if there's time for it at the end. There may be.
Yeah, better like this.
And finally, there were some updates to the Gno client API inside the core code to handle multiple calls and multiple sends within one transaction. And so we have reflected that in Gno native kit. So that's been updated. I can, yeah, that's it. And we'll see if we have time at the end to go over the Loom video. Yeah.
That would be good. Okay, so moving on. Andrew from OnBlock, do you want to grab the screen and run through your updates? And Gno.land?
Sure.
Okay.
Okay, I'll share our journey while the screen is coming up, so you guys can follow along.
Yep.
All right, so yeah, so I'll briefly cover what we've done for the past couple of weeks. On the Gno core side, we've made some improvements to open PRs based on the feedback from the core team, mainly the JSON parser. Special thanks to Morgan and Jeff for the feedback. And we've started to work on emit an event. And moving on to Adina, the newest version 1.9.0, should be released by the end of the week with the new sign-in flow and air gap support that we briefly demoed last week. It is currently under review by Christoph, Milosh, and Alex, and you guys can follow along. follow the release notes in the link below. And along with the new version, we will also release the new website. So take a look when it's released. And as for GNOSwap, we've started refactoring the code base of the overall realms with an emphasis on security and optimization. And while doing so, we're reading through Effective GNO, a section in docs.gno.land, which basically guides you through good practices when building apps in Gnoland. And there's a new feature that we've developed. It's still uncompleted, but I can show a quick demo. So before, you could only see your own positions, which are basically the liquidity that you provided to liquidity pools. But the problem with that is if it's a bit difficult to share your positions or discuss strategies without having a link to simply share them with the community. So what we did was create this new feature where you can share all of your positions with this unique link that contains your address at the end. So so for example, you could share this link in your social media and get people to take a look at your position, get opinion, or even have some people copy your position. And in return, you could get some points, which will be useful in the leaderboard feature, which we will roll out in the future to reward active liquidity providers. And by clicking on this link, you could also share a link to a specific position, not just the entire position list. And that's all. And I do want to point out that we have 4 PRs ready for review. So if anyone from the core team has time, we'd appreciate it if you guys could take a look. And I'll hand it over to the next team.
Thanks, Andrew. Also, we talked about, I know we had a NoSwap demo with the No Core team in December, but we did talk about with the upcoming beta that we will organize internally one with the whole company so that people can start using NoSwap, right? Cool. Okay, so moving on. Varmeta, it's over to you if you want to screen share. Otherwise, I think you guys are here. Ah, yeah.
Yeah.
Hi, Anne.
Yeah. Hi. Hey, everyone. Yeah. Let me say I'll going to show some our proposal for the our grant proposal for the 2024 and
so Michelle, so you want us to talk about grant or the project like what we are working on?
Yeah, also I think you guys are working on account sessions.
Okay. Yeah, yep. So like so I think like for account section, so last week I think like the week before last week we have the meeting with Jeff, with Birdie team, and also like Manfred and Jay to join us, and also like a lot of feedback from Manfred and Jay's. So what we need to do next is like we are collecting more information in terms of like pros and cons, what we need to trade off when we there are 2 different solutions, so we need to we need to have more specific use case, so to present to Manfred and Jay so they can make decision, and then later on we will follow their decision and implement it. So that is what we are going on account section, and also like for the Unity SDK. So because it was holidays, very long holidays from Vietnam side, so like nearly 2 weeks holidays. So not much update from our side in terms of the Unity SDK. For the game, so I think like we are about to have a beta version of game, but that's just for Web 2 game, for normal games. And then we will starting to our plan is we'll starting to port it on Gnoland after this month. So like starting at March. So that is our progress in total project we are going on.
Do you have maybe an issue for the team on the account session proposals?
So can you sharing some things on account sections?
Yeah, like do you have an issue link for GitHub that you're referring to, or?
We will back to work tomorrow, so we will making the issue on the high space, and we can discuss with another team on that for the Spencer, UK, and what we mixing if we not implement the ERC 4337 like the Ethereum. So we will making it on tomorrow for discuss with another team and showing what our team research investigate in that time.
Okay, cool. And then yeah, it would be really cool maybe in 2 weeks not to get the like a demo of the game, and how like when for porting it to Gnoland.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, and we're obviously, just for context, we're reviewing a grant with Varmeta, so that is coming soon. Next up we have Matteo. Matteo, do you want to maybe introduce yourself and your proposal for Decentral Hub?
Okay. Okay. Hello everyone. So to introduce myself a little bit, so I'm a smart contract developer. Let's say mainly coming from Ethereum, but going to discover a bit Gno for and I've been following from a side. And I come up with Decentral Hub as a grant proposal, which aims to facilitate projects to create and manage their own DAOs. So the idea is to make a simple user experience using the off-chain interaction as much as possible, but by keeping core security features on chain with some Gno contracts and basically yeah, they're going to be two types of users. First, the sort of managers who will decide on who is part of the DAO based on which parameters. It could be just a list of addresses or some orders of a token of a JS event, for example. And the idea is that users should be able to create proposals, vote for it, execute it afterwards, and have a pretty healthy DAO so that projects can just focus on building their own app and just let the whole DAO process on Decentral Hub. That's it. If you have any questions, you can ask.
Also, let me just screen share again. I don't know if you guys saw, but Matteo's also been working on the lint diagnostic realm issue. So he's working on this. Maybe, I don't know if do you want to run through quickly, just so to give everyone context, because with the grants we do internal reviews, just quickly your milestones. Maybe
Okay.
you could ask some questions, that way we kill two birds with one stone.
Okay, the milestones are there are three big milestones. First, the internal logic, which is the indexer on smart contracts. I'll need to create an indexer to just basically index all GS7 transfers. So I'm going to make a pretty simple logic with runlig, so fork, add fork, and try to get a pretty robust indexer that won't break. The second is smart contracts. So there are going to be two smart contracts in my mind. First, some sort of DAO smart contracts to just set the DAO settings, and a more global contracts, which will be for delegation, so that each user with voting power will be able to delegate their power to another user, basically. Then the second milestone is to create the actual app that users will use, with a front-end and backend, with basically all the interactions I said earlier. So to be able to just view DAOs overall, to access the proposal of a DAO, vote for a DAO, and delegate, of course, your voting power, and so on. It will be between front end and back end, because I'll need some sort of off-chain interactions, so I can't do everything on the front end. So just to ease the process. And then the last milestone is a possible milestone. I don't know if it will be made, but I try to edit at the end, because I saw that another one people proposed a grant for multi-sig. So I think it would be a good idea to just implement it, because usually in DAOs we only use multi-sig, so for better security. So I just thought it would be good to integrate it, if it's done in time, basically.
Cool. Does anyone have questions on it, or? Okay, well, we got a lot of thumbs up. And just for context, like, we review them internally, and then we do like a scoring model, and so hopefully we will have a response for you soon. But thanks for presenting it. Okay. And I think that Dragos is traveling, as I said, but there is the Flipando roadmap here that he's working on. I think he's still troubleshooting some issues, and he plans to have it much more ready to promote in the beginning of March. And I think we're at the time. So if people want to watch Cost and Jeff, do we want to tackle the 5-minute?
Yes, please. And for the purpose of feedback, if there's any.
Yeah. And sorry, one last thing is Morgan, I can't even believe I forgot to put no chat. Do you want to tackle updates, or how could I have forgotten?
Just a quick note. Yeah, let me. I'll share the current update. Essentially, I managed to finalize most of the split work that I'd taken on some time ago already. So you can now start GNOME tests without Docker. And without needing to have weird patches applied on top of GNOME, which, like, I don't know how many of you actually know, but it wasn't actually possible to do any of that before this PR, essentially. So what we have right now is that this is like a gift from my terminal that I made a few days ago. You can just start 3 comments, which all run off the master branch of Gno, and you can just get Gno.ch started with the web front end, the Gno dev and Gno web backend together, and the faucet. Now, I would have liked to finish this PR today, and in fact, I was working on it this morning, but my Docker decided not to work and is on strike, so I'm trying to figure out how to fix that. But yeah, we're approaching finalizing on that, and this makes everything after this more smooth sailing. And yeah, this is pretty much the only update I have for today. Thanks.
That your Docker's not cooperating.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry. So back to the Jeff video. Should do, if I screen share, does that work for everyone, or is it best that people watch it alone or on their own?
I think it works better on their own. The
Okay.
link is in the latest message from Michelle in the chat.
Yeah, so should we spend the last 5 minutes watching it and then come back with any questions?
Please, yes. And please, Christoph, if you could watch it, we'd really appreciate your feedback. What are we waiting for?
We were all watching Jeff's, or I was watching with, I hope everyone else was watching Jeff's no key, Costin's no key video.
It's in the link is in the chat.
Oh
Yes.
yeah, I really believe so. We should share screen and share with sound.
Does that work? You can try it, Michelle.
Yeah, I wasn't sure either. Okay, well, we can catch up with where I am on the video. So does this, can you hear that?
Click on play.
I don't hear anything.
Yeah.
Okay, so, well, maybe what I suggest is there an issue open for no key? And then maybe we can add the link, or in Hackerspace, we can have that and people can watch it and add their questions. If that works for you,
yeah, sure. I'll open an issue today or tomorrow morning, of course. No problem.
And yeah, we need Michelle to find a way to basically play video during these meetings. We have too many and we have live record. So let's try to find a solution we can find.
Yeah, I was going to say, actually, that seems pretty obvious solution, but it's somehow not. So yeah.
No, it's special because you need to tell your browser that sound coming from the computer is like a mic, but it can be done.
Okay.
We will help.
I will try to look into that so that yeah, we don't have to all individually watch. But in the meantime, if you would do that, Costin, then everyone can watch and contribute questions if they have them.
In the meantime, so I don't know if you want to finish the video, but in the meantime, you can explain the context for the video, because I think that the one I saw last Friday, in terms of context, the Bertie team was working on proposing a plan to have a Gnocchi mobile app, not focused on being, I don't know, awesome in terms of key features. Basically, Gnocchi is the one who are using its CLI on mobile, but where most of the challenge is actually to allow to have an ecosystem of Gno apps on mobile where only one is a wallet and the other ones are discussing with the wallet when needed. So it's similar to what you can do with, for instance, MetaMask by switching to MetaMask. And it also goes in another topic we were discussing recently about account sessions, where let's imagine you have I don't know, a Gno board app, so the forum client, and the Gno board app should not be an app asking you to enter your private key or 24 keywords. The goal is for you to only trust one main application where you enter your words, and then to install as many apps as you want. That will be less safe, not to say unsafe. And here they have choice to basically request to switch to the Gnoki app to ask you to approve the transaction signature. Or another way would be for them, for the application, to request an account session. So basically to allow them to generate a volatile private key, volatile or not, actually, can be a persistent private key, but where your main account is telling to the blockchain this public key is associated with my account. It's like an alias, and we have some filters, some limits, some scopes, so that, for instance, you can imagine having the Gno board dedicated key to only have access to the Gno board realm. You can imagine an IDE to have access to the IDE realm, but also to the @pkg command. You can imagine, I don't know, a Twitter alternative clients to maybe have full access, but with a limit of, I don't know, 10 GNOT per day. And that's basically what Bertie was working on. It's a proposal on how we can progressively go there, because before coding, there are so many security considerations, etc. So their plan was to propose a plan so they can help on some parts or not. And they can also help to implement, or someone else. And yeah, it would be nice to see the video so we can have questions for them. So maybe next time with sound, we can share the full video. And in the meantime, so you know, feel free to DM them as soon, or to let a comment as soon as you have a GitHub issue with the video.
Do you want to talk to John's question? Do you see it on the chat?
John, probably Rosien, but we replace the Gnoki in our toolchain. No, it's the Gnoki mobile using the exact same Gnoki in our toolchain, but on mobile. On CLI, it's definitely something where you trust your terminal. So basically, you enter your password, etc. But it's the Gnoki here. On mobile, it's a mix of trying, if we can, to work with a secure enclave of your phone, if we can. Secure enclave can store secrets, or can at least allow to make some cryptographic actions using secure hardware. Another challenge would be to have the inter-app communication, so the deep link. Maybe this could happen on Gnoki CLI with some QR code system also, the protocol to switch between a client on one computer, on one device, to another requester on another device. On mobile, it could be transparent by switching from an app to another. On Gnoki, it could be implemented as something with QR code or links. But basically, it's the mobile version of Gnoki. And the idea, when using Gno native and not writing it again in JavaScript, is to exactly use the same Gnoki. It's the same implementation, but with an API so that a mobile front end can interact with Gnoki. That's what Gno native is doing. Because we can create a new Gnoki alternative in JavaScript, but here on Gno native, you run the exact same code that we are using on Gnoki, and when generating other clients like the Gnoblock CLI or other clients or oracles.
Mm-hmm. So it's a signer. It's like a signer app.
Gnoki is an account manager. You can add as many accounts as you want. Then you can sign on a request by another application. And I think, signer plus account management is the minimum set of features. Later, you can imagine maybe to have more features like sending tokens or opening a browser, but I really believe that's not the role of Gnocchi Mobile. Gnocchi Mobile should be minimal, while other apps should be rich, giving rich experiences, but allowing you to basically enter your keywords only on the wallet app. If you look at Adena, I don't know what are Unblock's plan in terms of mobile, but probably they will release Adena Mobile at some point. Adena will be more complex. It will understand what is a GRC20. It will probably allow to send a native token and GRC20. Maybe they will understand contracts by looking at the signatures. Gnocchi Mobile is definitely your wallet with the goal to just allow other apps to connect. So maybe Adena could rely on Gnocchi Mobile, but I think since Adena is a wallet itself, if it's audited, it also makes sense to consider Adena a good app to enter your 24 keywords. But an option could be for Adena to actually propose to connect to Gnocchi Mobile in addition to manage private key by themselves. But on a Gno board potential app that we want to release at some point, the goal is to actually demonstrate something and actually encourage people to fork this app. We prefer to encourage people to fork an app relying on an app switching protocol rather than encouraging people to enter their keywords on every app. I really believe we should discourage people to enter their words everywhere.
And this is not to be used for signing like offline transactions. And then
it could, especially with QR code. Sorry, to finish on this point, as soon as we have a protocol is about having something remote, giving instruction, giving the parameter, so you can verify, adjust eventually, and approve or drop the request. As soon as we have the inter-app protocol, we can have the same system for QR code. And if you look at Unblock team worked on something, there is an issue about a protocol with QR code. And definitely, it could be the same concept. So you run Gnocchi Mobile, you run the QR code scanner, you scan something on your desktop, and you can remotely sign the thing. For this, we need more things. We need a server like a Wallet Connect that basically keep the transactions. But maybe you can find other solutions, especially with P2P and not transversal. But in practice, the main first goal of Gnocchi Mobile is to support inter-app communication. It's easy, it's the same device. But the protocol could go over the internet with some QR code if we have the infrastructure or the protocols. That's why the plan from Bertie, I requested Bertie to work on this proposal because running Gnocchi minimal mobile app at some point is something we plan. That's why I asked Bertie to study and to make an analysis of how we can do it, what is the shortest and smartest way of having it at some point.
Cool. Yeah, it seems really needed. Awesome. I'll follow up on the, I guess, is it in the journey? Well, there's only the Gno mobile journey that I'm seeing. Is this a separate journey?
We did start a new journey for Gno Social. This is kind of a different project. So Costin will open a separate issue and post it on Signal.
Yeah, I'll send it on Signal. And also,
Please open an issue and make sure, guys, especially Unblock and other people who worked on such topics, to reference the issues together because we have similar work at different locations.
Okay, so this would be like call for feedback, and then it would transition into a grant proposal.
Exactly. We want to tweak the grant proposals since it would involve working alongside Gno and sharing responsibilities here. So it would be of course we need feedback from you guys. So
Okay, well, thank you. We're at the time, so have a lovely Valentine's Day. Thank you for joining, and then we'll see you next week for the exciting No Core edition. Bye, guys.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Hey, bye-bye.
Bye.